was in Chicago, moving back and forth between a couple neighborhoods. Some nights I was able to sleep inside, some nights I wasn't. And I never really could shower. Like, I'd sneak them in where I could, but there weren't many opportunities, and I didn't have a lot of opportunities to wash my clothes, because that's how homelessness works. And the people that treated me with the most respect, the most consistent respect, and the most kindness were Arabs, specifically Arab men. I knew that if I begged in the fancier white area that I could get to, in the area near the commuter trains, nobody acknowledged I existed. They walked by me, they didn't see me. And if you can't afford to give someone something and you don't want to make eye contact, whatever. I'm not here to police how you interact with people. But these were people I knew could give. These were people I would see go in and pull out a wad of money, and I'd be like, hey, can you buy me something? And they'd be like, I don't have money. And it's like, okay, whatever. Like, you don't have to give me anything. But they never would. Like, they rarely would. But I could walk not too far away and go into an Arab neighborhood with Arab restaurants and Arab shops, and I didn't even have to ask. I could walk through the neighborhoods, and people would be like, do you need to eat? They never asked me if I was hungry. They never asked me if I had money. Do you need to eat? And they would feed me, and they wouldn't feed me crap either. It wasn't yesterday's bread or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was a heaping to-go container of the best foods that they like. And I don't cry a lot. I'm actually kind of screwed up from childhood trauma, and I don't cry even when I want to. But I remember one time this guy said, let me get you some food. You look hungry. And I was like, I'm so hungry. And he brought me food, and he brought me an entire pitcher of water to sit and drink, because it was not the best day and I needed a lot of water. And I'm like, can I sit here and eat it? And I pointed outside his restaurant. He goes, yeah, of course. And I'm like, I won't bother anyone. He's like, just eat. And I'm sitting there and I'm eating, and I'm getting choked up. I was crushing the food this man made me. Crushing it. And he comes outside with another to-go container, and I was like, what is this? And he was like, well, this is for your friend. And I was like, what friend? And he goes, you have to have a friend. And I was like, I don't have any friends right now. And he's like, okay, then this is for you in a couple hours. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I was walking around the neighborhood, and I was doing what homeless people do. And he saw me, and he waved me down. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble for something. And I walked over, and I'm like, what's up? And he gave me dessert. And when I tell you I was no more good, cried like a baby when that man gave me dessert. And every time he saw me, he waved me down, and he was like, do you need food today? And I was like, I do. I need food today. And sometimes I'd say, somebody else fed me. I'm good. And he'd be like, okay, come by for dinner. Like, that man always fed me. And his staff fed me, and his friends fed me. And other people in the neighborhood who saw that man was feeding me pulled me aside and were like, hey, is he feeding you all the time? And I thought they were going to scold me or scold him. And I remember this one guy who owned a restaurant like across the street and like half a block down. And he was like, is he feeding you every day? And I was like, oh, I'm in so much trouble. Or he's in so much trouble, and I don't want to cause any problems. I was like, yeah, he feeds me every day. And he was like, no, I feed you half days. And I'm not making fun of the man's English. That's exactly what he said. His English was not the best. He was very clearly learning English. And he goes, I feed you half days. And I was like, what? And he was like, he feeds you half days. I feed you half days. And I was like, what if he feeds me already? Like, and like, what if he fed me when you see me? And like, because we were having a conversation, he goes, he feeds you mornings, I feed you nights. I feed you half. These people in the neighborhood were arguing over who got to help take care of me. So nobody had to bear the burden of taking care of me all by themselves. And I will never forget that kindness. And if I could find that man, probably cry like I'm almost crying now.